Hey everybody. Today is November 5th, so we're looking at MTG Stocks on November 4th. Very few big spikes or anything, but let's go ahead and look at the biggest one here. We got Sphinx's Revelation. This is X white blue instant. You gain X life and draw X cards. I almost feel like we've seen this one before, but anyways, it's it's also instant, which is nice. But I'm not sure why this one's spiking. I feel like I said that last time if we saw this one in anyways. But it's a good card if you can get this late game. Even like get this turn 6 or something. Probably can draw at least 3-4 cards, gain 4 life, and this could probably help you out quite a bit. Something I guess with like Teferi especially, where you can untap 2 lands. You can get this off earlier if you need. So yeah, I can see why this could be good, like in standard, because I believe this is in standard as well. Because we have this right here. It's in the guild set, so I can see why this is a pretty good card. Let's see. Next one is Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. Is a 1 colorless, 2 green planeswalker Nissa. She has 3 loyalty when she comes in, and I like this card quite a bit. I have this like in one of my token decks, like Prosh. There's like a +1 her and put a 0/1 plant creature token onto the battlefield. Not bad token generation. But her -2 is put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, which is really nice, especially if you have a token deck. Then her -7 is you gain X life and draw X cards for X number of lands you control. So while this could be really good, like maybe in a landfall or just mana ramp in general, or land ramp, I guess. And this can, if you get to her -7 ability, it'll be put you at a crazy lead. I think she's really good. I don't think she's like, she didn't go up. None of these really went up a ton or anything. But yeah, I think I bought this one at like $3-4, but now it's back up to, now it's $8-ish, at least for this specific set. It's kind of getting to the point where I don't think it's quite worth buying. Let's see here. Our next card, this is one of my, when I was younger, I just loved this card for some reason. I didn't have like a good reason, but I thought I was like, oh man, this is the best card in the world. So this is, it went up a little bit, nothing much. Most of these aren't very high, like I said. It's 1 colorless artifact. Enters battlefield, name a card. Activated abilities of sources with that chosen name cannot be activated unless they're mana abilities. So this basically, like for commander, that's where I put it in my commander deck way back when. This basically can shut down a commander. If you have, well, we'll actually see one here, Chainer. Like you basically just be like, okay, well, you can't use your ability anymore. And that can just really hurt him and really hurt the deck in general. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid, and I think you can put this in a lot of EDH decks. I'm sure this is showing up in other ways. I could only assume that this works on planeswalkers, so for Oko, I can see this working out too. Kind of a random card here. We have Geth, Lord of the Vault. He is a 4 colorless, 2 black legendary creature zombie. I kind of like this card because I have a mill deck, and I feel like this could fit in there pretty well. This came out in the Commander 2019 Anji deck, but so it has Intimidate, which is whatever. But this ability is X and 1 black. Put target artifact or creature card with converted mana cost X from a graveyard for an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So if you pay 6 mana and 1 black, you can put any creature or artifact from their graveyard cost 6 or less, which is great for for my Dimir deck, for instance, because it's the idea is like a shapeshifter / getting stuff from your opponent in general. So I like the idea of that a lot. And then also the sub theme of that deck is a mill, and this one also lets you mill that person. I think it would have been nice if it was mill first and then do the other, but I don't know if that would have been too powerful, or if they thought it would have been too powerful. But I also besides the ability, I like the art. It's very interesting. I guess it's like bone claws and everything. He doesn't really look like a zombie to me, especially with those bone-looking claws or whatever, but whatever. Interesting card. Great for mill decks. Can be great for mill decks. Then we're going to go to our kind of commander of the night. So this is Chainer Nightmare Adept. This was played against me today and is pretty interesting. So it's 2 colorless, black-red, legendary creature, human minion, and he's a 3/2. So you can discard a card and you may cast a creature card from your graveyard this turn. Activate this ability only once each turn. So this is kind of nice because you can actually, I guess, play this on your opponent's turns. So if you're like, oh, well, I have enough mana, I'll just bring something out from my graveyard that I want to. And the other good thing is that you can basically give your creatures flash because you get to discard that card first. So since it's a payment, that thing happens and it's in your graveyard, and then you can basically just cast it with this ability. So that's really nice. And also, whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if you didn't cast it from your hand, it gains haste until your next turn. So if you have anything that puts stuff on the battlefield from your graveyard, which there's a lot of things that do that, especially Chainer himself, then giving basically all your creatures haste is great. This can combo out pretty crazily, and there's some really nasty combos that we ran into very quickly with this guy. But yeah, he's pretty cool, and I think I could do quite a bit with him. Let's see, this is a card that I played in my commander deck tonight, and I really like this card. The artwork is pretty spooky with eyes. Ugh. But anyways, it is a 1 colorless blue-red enchantment, and at the beginning of each player's end step, that player draws a card. If the player is your opponent and has 4 or more cards in hand, deals 2 damage to him or her. So it's really nice because getting this out on turn 3, basically everybody's drawing 2 cards now. This speeds up gameplay, but also your opponents are going to be taking 2 damage each time. I have this in my Nexus Star deck, and basically getting this and having your opponents draw and take damage each turn is really nice. It's just, I don't know if it's like an undervalued card, but I feel like there is a lot of good ways to use this card, especially when you make your opponents draw cards. So I really like this card. I have it in a couple of my decks, and I think it's pretty solid. Let's see. Then we're going to go out for the night on our random cards. Let's look at our random card number 1. Undead Executioner is a 3 colorless black zombie, 2/2. When he dies, you may have target creature get -2/-2 until end of turn. It's just a common, so something great. The artwork is very like kind of dingy and stuff. It's kind of neat, like the big old hook or sword or whatever he has there in it. But I mean, I think if you were to draft this, I think you'd be pretty okay with it because the fact that 4 mana is quite a bit for a 2/2, but I mean the fact that you get a -2/-2 on him can really help you target off one of their stuff. So it gives you a chump blocker, and in addition, it gives you something that, like, if they have a flying creature that you can't really take care of, this could, I think, bring it down, or has potential to bring down a flyer like that. So I think for drafting or something, it could be pretty decent. I guess if you have ways to like bring it back from your graveyard, you can maybe like chain effect it or something weird. But for draft, I think it's pretty good. Okay. Let's see, random card number 2. Okay, Court Archer. This is an interesting card only because I was playing a deck that had this card in it today, my Exalted deck. I love Exalted, by the way. So this is a 3 mana, 2 colorless, 1 green, human archer, 1/3. And so it has reach, which is okay, having reach is always nice. But then it has Exalted. If you're not aware, what Exalted does is whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So the good thing about Exalted is that it stacks. So if you had like an EDH, if you had Court Archers, and then a couple of other Exalted creatures, and then you have Rafik of the Mini, which is what my commander is in that deck. Basically, Court Archers give Exalted. The 2 other creatures would give Exalted, so that's +3/+3. Rafik would give Exalted, so that's +4/+4. And then with Rafik's ability, that creature would get Double Strike. if they attack alone. It's all only if they attack alone, but that stacking adds up real quick. So like with Rafik, if you attack with him, he has suddenly become a 3/3 with a +4/+4 from all the Exalted, so it's a 7/7. Then he gets double strike, which becomes a 14/14. So you can do some pretty crazy things with Exalted, I think. I've always loved the mechanic. This is because I started back in, well, I started a long time ago, but I kind of started back into it again in Shards, and that's where I really got into the game. And Shards is probably one of my favorite sets because I think drafting Shards is a lot of fun. But yeah, the Exalted mechanic was what I went to, so that's Bant colors, which is green, white, blue, and kind of the other spin I put on it was a token deck. That's what my EDH deck is now, is a token Exalted deck, because if Exalted isn't working for some reason, then I can also go wide with my tokens. So it's I don't know if it's a good deck, but it has a backup plan. I'm gonna try one more card, random card, to see if I can get like a rare or something, because we got 2 commons there. Okay, sure. Ghost Council of Orzhov. I mean, I'm assuming it has to be Orzhov, but it's weird that it's spelled Orzhov. Maybe I'm just maybe I just don't do the English good. Anyways, it costs white, black, legendary creature spirit, and it's a 4/4. Whenever it enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. You can pay 1, sacrifice a creature, you exile him, and then return him to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. So it kind of is a way to save him, and also there's a way to get off his ability. It's too expensive for what it is, I think. Maybe if, like, I think her name's Tessa or something like that, where you basically get double enter the battlefield. That may be death abilities. But anyways, if you have double enter the battlefield effects, then, it's like, it's okay-ish, but it's still only 1 opponent. So for Commander, it's not that great. And for any other format, it's too slow and it's too costly, because 2 white, 2 black is pretty hard to get out. But I remember having this in like my Spirit / maybe my Cleric deck even. But it's definitely not a good card. But at least we got our rare card out of our random cards. But I think it's going to be it for tonight. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you next time.